Hi guys, just first of all I apologise for the paper, it's just for this one video. There's a lot of information I've had to get down and I just find it easier to remember if I'm looking at it here. Every other video will just be me talking about my experiences living with neurofibromatosis. But just for this first one, as it's explaining what it is, the type I have and the symptoms of that, I'm just going to use this just so it helps me a little bit, so I apologise for that. So, living with neurofibromatosis. First of all, you may be asking yourselves, Dom, what exactly is neurofibromatosis? Well, neurofibromatosis, or NF for short, is a group of 3 conditions in which tumours grow in the nervous system. The 3 types are neurofibromatosis type 1, neurofibromatosis type 2, and I really hope I pronounce this properly, schwannomatosis. And as you can guess by the title of this episode, I have neurofibromatosis type 1. Okay, well, neurofibromatosis type 1 is the most common type, affecting around 1 in 3,000 births. Now, I can also hear you asking, Dom, what actually are tumours? Well, tumours are swelling formed by a growth of cells. Now, in neurofibromatosis, the tumours are benign. The tumours are benign, they're non-cancerous, but in very, very rare cases, they can become malignant. Now, what are the symptoms of neurofibromatosis type 1? Well, NF1 is a condition that you're born with. I was born with this condition. Although some symptoms develop over many years, but some you have from being born. Symptoms include pale coffee-coloured patches over the body and skin, like that one on my arm, just there. They are known as cafe-au-lait spots. Another symptom is a soft, non-cancerous bumps on or under the skin. These are the actual neurofibromas. That is one there, and I also have one there and there. They're the ones that you can see. The severity of the condition can vary considerably from person to person. Now, certain health problems have been officially associated with neurofibromatosis type 1, such as learning difficulties, and less commonly, NF1 is associated with a type of cancer known as malignant peripheral nerve sheath tumours. Alright, now that I've given a brief description, let's I'm just going to take a step back and do a bit more description on some of the symptoms. So the cafe-au-lait spots, like I said, that there, and others that I have on my body. These are the most common symptom in NF1. They affect 95% of people with neurofibromatosis type 1. And they can be present right from birth, or they can develop up to the time by the child is 3. For me, there was some present from when I was born. I asked my mum, and she said the ones that were present from my birth were the big one on the bottom of my back, the one on the top of my leg, and at least 3 others. And during childhood, it is common for most children will actually have 5 or more of these. Another symptom is freckles in unusual places. Such as the armpit, the groin, or under the breasts. I, for example, have a large one on my ankle, just there. But whether or not that's actually linked to neurofibromatosis, I don't know. I might just have a freckle on my ankle, and I've just shown the world. The actual neurofibromas themselves, which are, like I said, these and these, as a child with NF gets older, usually during the teenage years or early adulthood, they develop neurofibromas, which are tiny bumps on or under the skin. And the neurofibromas are caused by benign tumours. They develop on the coverings of nerves, so the actual outside of the nerves, the bits that cover the nerves to keep them safe. And they can vary in size, from very small pea-sized ones, for instance, like that one. That is one of the smallest ones I have on my wrist. Not exactly pea-sized, but it's one of the smallest ones I have. To larger, such as the one here in the back of my leg. As you can see, that one is quite large. And the one in my face, head, neck, chest, they're all quite large as well. Now, most of the neurofibromas aren't particularly painful at all. Others can be, but they don't look attractive. They are very unattractive to look at, and can occasionally catch on clothing, and other times be irritating or a bit stingy. And from personal experience, I can tell you, when they sting, they really sting, and they really, really hurt. However, now pay attention, guys, because this part definitely refers to me. If fibromas develop where multiple branches of nerves come together, i.e. the facial nerves, they can cause large swelling. This is called plexiform neurofibromatosis. Plexiform NF sometimes occurs on the skin, but mainly and many also develop on larger nerves deeper within the body. Again, they can cause pain, weakness, numbness, or even bleeding, or bladder or bowel changes. Luckily for me, I am yet to experience any one of those last three symptoms. I am not bleeding, and I do not wet or mess myself, luckily. Right, well, according to the NF website, it can also cause learning difficulties, and although I took a bit harder to study at school, I was in one of the bottom classes, I studied at a regular education and didn't struggle as much as others do. And I was able to further my education and move on to college and then eventually university, where I received a 2-1 and a BA, which is a Bachelor of Arts degree. So if you do wish to actually learn more about learning difficulties with neurofibromatosis type 1, please, by all means, go to the Neurofibromatosis website and look up it there. Now, I've covered most of the symptoms that I've personally experienced and some that I haven't. Again, please, if you want to know anything else, just go straight to the Neurofibromatosis website and that will help you out as much as it can. One of the most frequent questions I get asked is what causes neurofibromatosis and is it hereditary? Well, neurofibromatosis is caused by a genetic mutation in a gene called NF1. That's right, guys, I'm a mutant. That's pretty cool. Genes are the instructions that produce all human characteristics. Your hair, your eyes, your skin colour, whether you're a boy or girl. A genetic mutation is a permanent change in the DNA sequence that makes up a gene. Normally, NF1, the gene, is responsible for producing protein that helps regulate the growth of nerve tissue. The protein switches off the growth of a tissue once it reaches a certain size. In someone like me with neurofibromatosis type 1, the gene is it's a bit faulty, and it causes the cells producing an incomplete protein that's much less effective to switching off the growth of tissue, leading to uncontrolled growths developing in the nervous system, which are the tumours. The faulty gene that causes neurofibromatosis type 1 is found in chromosome number 17. Okay, so in around half of all cases of neurofibromatosis type 1, the mutated gene is passed down from parent to child. So any children I have in the future have a 50% chance of having neurofibromatosis type 1 as well. There's also a 1 in 2 chance of each child, depending on how many I have, having the faulty gene and have risk of developing the condition. Although it may not be as severe as the one I have, they may only have a mild form of NF1, or they might have a more severe type of NF1. It doesn't work like that. It's not going to have exactly what I have. They may have worse or better. Now, funnily enough, nowhere in my parents' family history is there any case of NF type 1. So I was created by something called spontaneous mutation. So whereas half are affected, the affected children is hereditary, the other half is a result of spontaneous mutation. This means the mutation happens spontaneously in either the sperm or the egg just before conception. It's unclear what causes it or whether anything increases the risk of it happening. But parents, have no fear. If you have a child who develops neurofibromatosis type 1 due to spontaneous mutation, it's very highly unlikely that any other children you have after that child will have the condition. And I myself can confirm this, as since I was born, none of my siblings have had the condition, neither did my brother before me. Unfortunately, even though I was created by spontaneous mutation, I do possess the NF1 gene now, so any children I have do have a risk of having it. Right, well guys, that was the first video. Ploughed through it a little bit, and I'm sorry it took so long. There was a lot to get through. So if you like this video and you found it helpful, please leave a comment below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also if you can, please visit the Neurofibromatosis website to learn more. And if you know anyone who is currently suffering from neurofibromatosis and is having a hard time, just give them the link to this video or to my channel and point them in my direction and ask them to leave comments or questions. I'm more than happy to answer them. Now, on the 14th of this month, I'm going into hospital to have surgery, to have an excision biopsy on the tumours in my chest and in my leg. It's because a couple of months ago I was doing research for this, and I got a bit of a cancer scare, thought I'd going to get cancer. I was really worried about it. So I went to the doctors and they sent me for a PET scan, where basically they inject you with radioactive glucose, and it goes all around your body. And if it goes to a certain part of your body, that means a certain part of your body needs to take up glucose, which means there's something wrong. And on that scan, the one in my chest and the one in my leg showed up red. So they're getting me in to cut them out, to perform a biopsy on them to see what is causing them to turn red. I've really got my fingers crossed that it's nothing too bad, but if it is malignant peripheral nerve sheath tumours or any other kind of cancer, I do intend to fight it. I've lived with neurofibromatosis for 24 years and I'm not letting it take me down now. I refuse to be taken down. Please guys, if not for me, for everybody else who's suffering with neurofibromatosis in the world, do a little bit of research and just please go to the NF website and look up and learn anything you can about neurofibromatosis. Okay guys, well I hope you enjoyed episode 1, and I really hope to see you again for episode 2 next week. Thank you very much guys. Good night.